looking for something.
There's Longhurst going down the hill. Neil Crompton comes into view, and Wayne Gardner to the inside of him. The rain has not eased up here at Wanneroo all day. Longhurst comes down the straight, still chasing after Jimmy Richards. Crompton goes through, Gardner right behind him.
As Neil's having to drive a little defensively to keep Gardner at bay, but he's entitled to do that. Gardner can't quite get up alongside him. He needs to get alongside him before he can apply an advantage under brakes. But a fine drive here by Neil Crompton in the GIO car, followed by Wayne Gardner in the factory Holden Racing Team Commodore.
They run downhill, and through goes Crompton, followed by Wayne Gardner. There's Peter Brock and Larry Perkins starting to move up on the freight train in the scrap that continues to fire for 3rd, 4th and 5th of this race. 5 laps to go as Jimmy Richards brings them across the line.
Yes.
This is where the action is. Longhurst goes across now.
Commodores 1, 2, 3. No one would have expected that possible 2 races ago, but certainly their aerodynamic devices that were changed at Eastern Creek have just unleashed a tremendous potential for all the Commodore teams. Winfield taking advantage of it most particularly with their lead car out there. Here's where Gardner tries just ever so subtly to get a little bit closer. There's just a slight track through the S's that seems to be giving him a bit more traction. Using Bridgestone tires here, trying to nail Crompton on his Dunlops. But certainly, Neil, best drive we've seen all season from him, Mike.
I thought his performance at Amaroo was outstanding, given the crook ruling against a jump at the start. But he's in a little more company here as Gardner just tries to find a little opening down there, but Crompton is not going to give him an opening. They come across the line now with 4 laps to go. Nothing between Crompton and Gardner.
Gardner's flying down pit straight. He looks quite savage in front of us here as he passes the start-finish line. And, yeah, can't get any closer than that in the rain, that's for sure. He's driving superbly well here today.
No, he's in great touch. Down to this very tight right-hander. Coming up after the run down the hill, and that's where I thought Gardner may well have been able to get to Crompton, but that GIO car's got plenty of grunt downhill.
He's got his gearing just right as well, mate. They're using whatever ratios they've determined have been serving them well here. And I think Wayne's a little reluctant to go into the bottom of that hill where the puddles are and find himself slipping off. But he's closer now than he's been. He might try it this time.
Oh.
Yes, he might. He's got him.
He's going to do it. There's no place to go there, so Gardner will go through. Crompton comes back on the inside of him to see if he can get down the inside of him again. Gives him a tap. That gives him a spin.
That was uncalled for. I'm sorry.
Gardner's hand goes up.
Well, he's every reason to be extremely cheesed with that, Mike. He was worked away steadily, didn't but hardly tap Neil once. Worked his way hard up, nailed him justly under brakes, and I think that was uncalled for by Neil Crompton.
Here we go. He already had the hand out the window, Wayne Gardner, to say, hey. 2 laps to go. Alan Jones battles on in car number 35, heading up the hill, still chasing what could have been a win here today, but things went horribly wrong for Alan with a motor problem yesterday as he comes down the hill. Let's go down to the pit lane to Andy Raymond.
Yes, and although it has been a pretty crook day overall for Team Peter Jackson, their team publicist has just come over to see me, and if Alan Jones doesn't finish first or second in this second heat, the title goes to Glenn Seaton because of the crash on lap 1.
Last lap board going out now for Jimmy Richards. Gentleman Jim, car number 2, the Winfield Commodore, as he comes up on Barbagello in the Castrol Commodore. Tony Longhurst still runs in second spot. He's probably about 6 seconds back behind Gentleman Jim. Then a fair gap back to Neil Crompton in third place. So Richards makes his way out of the turn, heads on down the back straight as Larry Perkins goes through, and here's Tony Longhurst running in second. Now we'll wait for the gap back to Neil Crompton, who's got Larry Perkins closing all over the tail of his car in this final lap. Here's Crompton going through. Look at Larry, sideways, gassing it up. Half a lap to go, and Perkins is on the move. Brocky's the next one through. That looks like Bobby Jones going through in the Ampol Max 3 Commodore as well.
Yeah, even though we can't keep them all on camera at once, the field is really quite tight here, and all the main players will be pretty pleased with it all.
Last corner coming up, and round number 8 of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. Commodore strikes and wins the round cleanly with Jimmy Richards in car number 2. Second spot will go to the giant killer Tony Longhurst, who absolutely gained some success here today, some success he thoroughly deserves. And third place will go to Neil Crompton in the GIO Commodore, as he just gets across the line in front of Larry Perkins. Well done, Gentleman Jim. He retains the title of the Rainmaster. Checking them out for you on the Shell race score: Jimmy Richards, the race winner over Tony Longhurst. Neil Crompton finished in third. Fourth was Larry Perkins, and rounding out the 5 was